Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make these really nice keychains. They're super easy to make and they don't take a lot of time to crochet, so I feel like this is a perfect beginner project. So without further ado, let me tell you guys the materials you're going to need to make this project. To make this project, you're going to need a D-ring. You can really use whatever size D-ring you prefer. Mine is a 2cm D-ring. Then you're going to need some yarn. The yarn that I'm using is a super fine cotton yarn. And because it's super fine, I'm going to double it. So I'm going to be using 2 strands of yarn at the same time to make my project. But you can really use whatever yarn weight you prefer. I suggest you use cotton yarn because it's a little more sturdy. But if you only have acrylic yarn, you can use that. It's just that your keychain is going to be a little more stretchy. And then I'm going to be using a 3.5mm hook. But you should use the recommended hook size that goes with the yarn that you're going to use. That's pretty much all we need. So we can now get started with the tutorial. So to start, you're going to grab your yarn and roll it on your 2 fingers, making an X shape like this. Then you're going to grab your hook and pass it underneath here and grab the yarn over here. Turn your fingers and take them off and pull. Now you can pull again to adjust it to your hook. So now that we're done with our slip knot, we're going to make 2 single crochets in the D-ring. So grab your D-ring and insert your hook inside of it, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. So here we have our first single crochet, and we're gonna make a second one. Insert your hook in the D-ring, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. So here we have our 2 single crochets. The next step is to turn your work. And now the next step is that we're going to make a single crochet in the front loop of the second stitch right over here. So skip the first stitch and insert your hook in the front loop of the second stitch. Yarn over, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Alright, so now we're gonna turn our work again. And now this is going to be the step we're going to repeat over and over again. So as you can see on your work, you're supposed to have 2 loops on the side here. So let me show you with my needle. So here we have our first loop. And here we have our second loop. I look like I have 4 loops because I doubled my yarn. But if you only use 1 strand of yarn, you're supposed to have 2 loops like this on the side. So what we're going to do is that we're going to insert our hook through both of these 2 loops. So here's one and here's the second one, just like this. This row and the second row might be the hardest ones, and after these rows it's going to get really easy. Once you're done doing that, you're going to yarn over and pull through the 2 first loops. So pull through these 2 loops, and then you're going to yarn over again and pull through the 2 remaining loops. So once again, we're going to repeat that over and over again. So turn your work and insert your hook through the 2 loops. So here's the first loop I have to insert my hook in, and here's the second one, just like this. We're going to yarn over and pull through the 2 first loops. And we're going to yarn over again and pull through the 2 remaining loops. Turn your work, insert your hook through the 2 loops here. 1. As you can see, this one was really easy. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Turn your work. Again, insert your hook in these 2 loops. First loop here, second loop right over here. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Turn your work. Insert your hook through the first loop, and then through the second loop. Right over here. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Turn your work. I'm going to show you guys one last time. Insert your hook through the first loop, insert your hook through the second loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Alright, so I'm going to repeat this over and over again until I get a 35 centimeter strap. So to get this result, you need a 35 centimeter strap. If you want to make your keychain bigger and longer, you can just continue crocheting until you get your desired length. So I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, and I'm going to see you guys when I'm done doing that. Okay, so here I have my 35 centimeter long strap. Alright, so when you're done crocheting your strap, you're going to pull some yarn. I would suggest pulling about 70 to 80 centimeters. So I'm going to cut it. And now we're left off with this big tail of yarn. What we're going to do now is to quickly weave in this little tail here. Okay, so once you're done weaving in your ends, you're going to take your darning needle and pass it through the long tail. And now what we're going to do is that we're going to fold our work in half, like this. And we're going to leave about 2 centimeters here at the top here. So we're going to leave about 2 centimeters here, and we're going to sew the end part like this together. So pass your needle through anywhere like this. And then pass it again to the other side, to sew the two sides together, something like this. You can repeat this maybe 3 to 4 times to make sure it's secured, and then maybe one last time. Alright, so once you're done sewing like this, the last step is going to take the leftover yarn we have and roll it around like this so it gives it a cleaner look. So I'm just going to start rolling like this, and I suggest you do it pretty tightly. So roll, roll, roll. Once you get to the bottom, just go up and roll again. Going to the top. Okay, I think I accidentally sewed it a little too high. So this one is exactly 2 centimeters, and then this one is like almost 3. Oopsie. That's okay. So if you did that, you can always undo it and re-sew it. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to keep it like this. So once you're done rolling your yarn like this, we're going to make a knot so it doesn't unravel. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take my yarn and pass it underneath one of the loops, whichever, like this. Like this, and I'm just going to make a knot with my other strand. So I'm going to make 2 knots, and then I'm going to weave in my ends. Now, if you're using only one strand of yarn, so let's pretend that this strand is not here, what you should do is, again, pass your yarn underneath one of the loops. Let's say this one. Pass the needle through and leave a little loop like this, and then take your tail and pass it inside of the loop and close to make a knot. But I'm not going to do it because it's not necessary for me. So once you made your knot, just weave in your ends and you're officially going to be done with your project. So when you're done weaving in your ends, you're officially done with your keychain. Of course, once again, like, this part was supposed to be a little shorter, just like this one. So just make sure that you measure out like the right distance. Unless you like it long like that, that's really up to you. But yeah, this is how I make my keychains. So I truly hope you enjoyed crocheting these keychains. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more crochet tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.